curvy pathways that surround the Capitol. You won't see a lot of straight lines. He didn't want to have a grid, what he called the tyranny of the grid, or the formality of a grid that would compete with the formality of the Capitol. So he's trying to create a park-like setting that would allow people to sit and linger and enjoy views of the Capitol. He even insisted against any lushly colored flower beds around the grounds because he didn't want anything to take attention away from the Capitol dome. When he was in New York, he said he was trying to create a respite from the colossal structures around Central Park. Here, however, I'm trying to focus attention on a colossal structure, he said. Here it's about the Capitol. Now in the 1960s, LBJ was president. Some of you might remember his wife, Lady Bird Johnson. She insisted on tulip beds around the Capitol grounds, and no one ever told her no, so we do have about 25,000 tulips every spring. And I love those splashes of color, but Olmsted actually would have objected to them because, again, if you're looking at tulips, you're not focusing on the dome. Many of the trees on the campus, are about 120 of them, have been planted by former members of Congress, speakers, and so forth, wives of senators and spouses of members of on the House side as well, on behalf of various institutions, people, even their states. There are 30 state trees around as well. The tree right off to the right there that was actually planted by Dennis Hastert, the speaker, back in 2001 when it was actually August 2001, a month before 9/11, the chaplain for the House had died after serving for 20 years. He planted that tree back there. Many of the trees are planted on behalf of the Page classes that have worked here. On their anniversary, they'll come back and plant a tree on the 25th anniversary of their class. The House expanded the Page program a few years ago. I was kind of sad to see that go, but because of budget constraints, and the speaker just felt with electronic technology, don't really need to have all that paper moving back and forth. We are coming up a hill. Capitol Hill is 89 feet above sea level, and it became, when Pierre L'Enfant saw this hill, he said it was a pedestal waiting for a monument. So he selected it as the site of the Capitol. And the very center of the Capitol that we'll walk through later is not only the very center of the building, but the very center of Washington, D.C. We just walked from the west side of Washington to the east side of Washington. So my address would be different here than it would be 100 yards down the hill. That would be southwest, now we're southeast.